This is Soputan. Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a grand solar minimum eruption style, thanks to Soputan and Volcano YT, December 15th, Saturday, 11 p.m. Mountain Time 2018. You're looking at VEI3. Yeah, just happening less than 3 hours ago. Actually, it was happening live when I was preparing the video. And luckily, Volcano YT's brother is on the island where Soputan exists in Indonesia, where he got to, as the sun rose, film live footage of this VEI emanation. Now, Soputan has erupted 8 times now since 2000 at this level. There is an increase, and today we had a cosmic ray spike. We're going to get to it, and you're going to learn something. Mostly about Discover Solar Wind Now. These major spikes in solar wind are not from cosmic rays from our sun, but are cosmic rays emanating from the universe, which are entering into the Earth, heating the muons in the subsurface, causing cloud nucleation between 18 and 24,000 feet, and cooling the Earth before your very lives. I know, it's a lot to soak in, but keep calm, it's boom time. Storm train keeps rolling through northwest U.S. As we predicted 7 days of snow. Ho, ho, ho. Rain and wind, mountain snow, rough surf will take aim at the Pacific Northwest and California at the end of the weekend as the barrage of Pacific storms continue. The region will have little time to gather itself after gusty winds from a late storm Friday caused tree damage and power outages in western Washington. Over 100,000 people were without power on Friday night, including nearly 50,000 in the Seattle metro. Here we see a tree clearly crushing guardrails and taking names. Thank you, Trooper Chelsea Hodgsons. More storms are lining up across the Pacific Ocean with their sights set on the Pacific Northwest, including BC, which is cut off from this map. Storms will arrive every 24 to 36 hours through Thursday, according to Alex Sonowski at AccuWeather. One of the biggest storms in the train will hit Sunday into Sunday night. Winds will not be as strong when compared to Friday's storm, but coastal areas could still experience gusts to 60, which could lead to isolated power outages. Another area of gusty winds is also expected to develop along the stretch of Interstate 5 in far northern California on Sunday, according to AccuWeather senior meteorologist Christina Pidnski. That could create difficult driving conditions, especially if you have a big camper. And that'd be a hamper. Stormy Sunday through Sunday night, localized flooding, debris flows, and burn scars. Dangerous sneaker waves. And that has nothing to do with your sneakers. Avalanche risk. Holy shisk. Any tree limbs that have been weakened by recent rains and wind events may be more susceptible to breaking due to the heavy, wet nature of the snow. Ho ho! Snow levels will be high enough to limit concerns of slippery travel over the major passes in the Cascades. But this is adding massive amounts of moisture to not only the snowpack, but to the drought conditions. This is a record moist year. Snow levels will be high enough to limit concerns. However, the risk of rainfall heavy enough to heighten flood concerns and slippery, snowy travel will increase farther south. The system will extend farther south than the storms in the past week, with rain and mountain snow getting into central California, according to AccuWeather. Rainfall totals of 1 to 3 inches across Northern California can be enough to trigger flooding, mudslides, and the death of people you love. So heads up. It's going to be stormy, and we're not talking Daniels. Stormy Monday p.m. through Tuesday. Heavy snow in Idaho. I told you so. Flooding, travel disruptions, mudslides, and again, avalanche danger. Western Montana. Yeah. And the Bitterroots, man, those sound delicious. 2 more systems likely to affect the Pacific Northwest and Northern Rockies through the week, at least. And that's a trifecta of snow booms. Yeah. Soaking rainstorm, interior ice, and snow to impede weekend activities in the Northeast. Al Gore said it would never snow, but if you're north of PA, it's going to only snow. Ho ho. A storm will continue to bring rain, fog, ice, and a wintry mix to parts of the Northeast this weekend. A general 1 to 2 inches of rain is forecast, with locally higher amounts from the Ohio Valley to parts of the central Appalachia and the mid-Atlantic coast, with lesser rain in store for parts of southern New England and upstate New York into Sunday. While this rain will not cause flooding along small streams and rivers in general, enough rain will fall to slow travel with minor urban flooding likely. Fog and low clouds ceiling can trigger airline delays at the major hubs in D.C., Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Philly, NYC, and Newark. Some flight cancellations are possible at the smaller airports, while fog blocks the view of the runway. Foggy episodes will also force some motorists to slow down. Heads up, Catskills, you are at the cusp of the fog. As the rain advances northward through Saturday night, a wintry icy mix may coat some colder surfaces in parts of northern PA, throughout the central Appalachians, up through Boston. It's going to be a Shawston. On Sunday, the rain and wintry mix is likely to push northwards across New York State into southern and central New England. Heads up, South Vermont, southern New Hampshire. It's going to be a nightmare. Motorists venturing along I-86, I-81, I-87, I-88, I-90, I-native vacation should remain vigilant for patches of ice and snow. With temperatures forecast to hover near or just above freezing, you have no idea what you're getting. And sometimes your car will be sledding. And money you will be shedding when you smash into the guardrail and other vehicles. So keep alert. Periods of rain likely to continue from Washington, D.C. and Baltimore into Philly, New York City on Sunday. Any lingering light rain will gradually clear eastern Ohio and western PA as the day progresses. Heads up for slippery spots, areas of fog, and a total nightmare of shitmare. Snow, sleet, and freezing rain then expected Sunday into your Monday in Massachusetts. Can you say tons of accidents and insurance industry going to pot? A wintry mix of snow, sleet, and freezing rain is expected to hit parts of Massachusetts this weekend. The storm is expected to hit Massachusetts first in the southwestern corner of the state near Great Barrington early Sunday morning before traveling east and fluxing the rest of the state. Ice, sleet, and snow is in the mix for northern New Jersey, forecasters say. Heads up. Yeah, we're talking northwest Jersey. We're talking northeast PA. The Poconos are skiing. Shawnee Mountain, you're killing it. Killing it. Oh dear. And we're talking storm Deirdre. UK weather forecast triggers danger to life. Warning for Britons today with 15-inch snow, 80-mile-per-hour winds, and 500-mile black ice curtain. Yeah. Warnings for ice, snow, and wind gusts have been issued for much of the UK today as the bitter cold snap sweeps the country. We have a big X here. X marks the spot. Storm Deirdre is about to hit Brits. Okay, schmokey. Storm Deirdre is about to hit Brits and have been warned to batten down the hatches as today up to 15 inches of snow and gusts of 80 miles per hour spark danger of life alerts. 80 miles per hour. And I'm speaking in a British accent. That should be in kilometers, which is about 112. A 500-mile curtain of snow will batter the UK over the next 48 hours, with warnings of freezing rain issued for most of the country and other shite developing. Reds, blues, pinks, and whites, completely confusing you to know what actually is going on. And here, the weather map shows the huge 500-mile black ice curtain. For certain. The Met Office has already issued multiple amber warnings across most of Scotland, northern and central England in the freezing rain, a rare phenomenon where ice sheets known as black ice instantly form on roads, and therefore everyone driving is totally fluxed. Yes, they go right off the road and smash into poles and trees and things. A third amber warning for heavy snow blizzards is also released Saturday morning for Scotland, northern England, not New England, as areas barely reach temperatures past freezing. Yellow, wind, amber, snow, yellow rain, amber ice, yellow snow and ice, yellow rain and wind. Whew, a lot of warnings. Most of the UK is covered with weather warnings. Rain and snow will sweep across the country. Ireland's meteorologist service, Met Ireland, also has issued orange warnings for gusts of up to 80 miles per hour, which they never issue in miles per hour in England. So there's definitely something happening afoot here. -4, -5, -2, -1, -1, -5, -4, -3. You get it. 10. What's going on here in Plymouth? Geoengineering much? Warnings for snow and ice have been released this weekend, and they look like dark clouds everywhere with snow north of Edinburgh. Glorious. I'm done with this article. It was a sharticle. It was the Sun. Seismic update. No quakes of note. Moderate activity in southern Alaska. Frac quakes central U.S. Indonesia is on fire. When we have an aftershock with that Hong Kong quake at deep depth yesterday, now we have a 5.1 coming up in Hainan, Taiwan. At 10 kilometers, the event is over. 4.6 in the Philippines, multiple quakes in Indonesia. Here's Soputan over here by Coco Popo. Heads up. So we do have some activity with magma moving from depth up to the surface. But as space weather changes in the coming 48 hours, we could have a lithospheric warning. We are currently at Cape Zero probably, but this cosmic ray flux activity that happened midday for over 12 hours is responsible for multiple volcanic events, including Soputan. Snow, freezing rain from Storm Deirdre caused disruptions, to say the least, across the UK.
Drain, repeat. It's like a broken record in Wilmington, North Carolina. Literally, broken records for rainfall. As the week ended, the city had already shattered a rainfall record that has stood the test of time for over 140 years.
Totally fluxed.
And the rain keeps falling.
It's a lot of water.
To give you an example, 96 inches is 8 feet of water. That's typically the deep end of a swimming pool. Hurricane Florence was the biggest contributor to this astonishing run of rain. Now the port city is looking to join the Century Club, 100 inches of rain for the year. Forecasters predict that will fall by the end of the weekend. You'd think at this point residents would have had their fill of rain. What's it been like for you?
Normal life except wet.
At least some have been able to keep a dry sense of humor. In Wilmington, North Carolina, for AccuWeather, I'm Jonathan Petronell.
They must watch the show. Storm Deirdre caused travel hazards, power outages, and disruptions this weekend across the UK. Is continuing to dump up to 8 feet of rain in North Carolina. Winds and gusted over 70 miles per hour in Pembrey Sands. This is a bench which you won't be sitting on along the Currageen River. Freezing rain is rare in the UK, as storms moving in from the Atlantic Ocean typically are accompanied by a push of milder air, and cold air gets scoured out fairly quickly. So, rare events happening with yellow exclamation points. Status is orange. Okay, now we have nothing loaded, so bear with us because we're going to get back to some sick footage of Soputan and other things. Let's look at Gunung Soputan Meletas at the initial eruption earlier today. This is about 3 hours ago, folks. And you're looking at the initial blast at VEI3 of Soputan. So Kojima has erupted in this scale recently as well in the last few years, but we're going to look at some facts, and the uptick is real. It's just not large-scale uptick. It's a large amount of larger eruptions happening in a shorter period of time, which is fine as long as it's not erupting here. We're back to the live Soputan footage. So what you're seeing here is 15 minutes in to this eruption. Nothing changes. So here we are, 7 minutes in, 14 minutes in. Look at the scale of this. And look at Volcano YT's brother-in-law, or whoever that guy is. He's really interested in how he looks on camera. Let's watch him stare at the camera again. There's a guy with a taking a picture of a camera with a guy with a camera. Look at that. A guy with a camera and a guy with a camera next to a guy with a camera. That's a trifecta of guys with cameras. You can't make this up. All the while, what's he saying? He said, "Shoot a gunzi bitte." Guy with a camera, guy with a camera, guy with a camera. Creepy. Huge.
Tubal ke atas. Luar biasa sekali.
So this is a VEI3, and we have 3 guys with cameras. What are the odds? Etna erupting at the same time. Volcanoes, they's be exploding. I hope you're having a great Saturday evening. I am. Soputan makes a beautiful picture. And let's get back to the cosmic ray flux. Look at the amount of atmospheric aerosols being injected in the Indonesia region. There are some videos coming out of this, people's homes right nearby this. This is going to be massive ash fall in this region, raining down on the ground. And over 34 minutes, this baby pumped out CO2, carbon, ash, other nucleating dust particles over 8 kilometers into the atmosphere. That's many miles up high. At least, oh, it's over 3 miles high. This plume here you're looking at, 3 miles. So aviation color is red, meaning no one can fly near here because they'll die. If this ash gets in the engine, it shuts it down. Come check out the footage over at Volcano YT. Amazing eruption footage. Thanks to YT's brother on the island where Soputan is, erupting just hours ago. Give him a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Tell him Diamond sent you. And this is amazing footage happening just moments ago. Smithsonian Institution, National Museum of Natural History, Global Volcanism Program, Soputan. We're going to look at volcanic eruptive history, and we're going to go back to 1450. We have a VEI3 confirmed back then, and then VEI2s since the Dalton minimum through the Centennial minimum. Limited activity. So the Centennial minimum ends around here, 1917. And then there's a lull until recently, where it picks back up from VEI 1 to 2, back to 2 to 3 in the 80s, couple more 2s, and then 3 in 2004, and then by 2007, after global warming is over, cosmic rays are increasing and we're going back out of solar max. You can see an increase here, 2011, 2012, 2015, 2016, and now 2018, all confirmed VEI3, 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 VEI3. And you could see the young nature of this mountain. There is no vegetation on many areas. So this has the potential to continue to increase, cool the earth slowly without anyone knowing, because this will not be reported anywhere on the mainstream. Mark my words. One of the largest eruptions in years will not be covered. So cover yourself. Cover your ass. Volcano warning, Naples supervolcano showing signs of possible Vesuvian-style eruption. Italy's Campi Flegrei, which we've warned about Etna just is an edge volcano of the entire complex. For the first time in 400 years, has been showing a type of unrest, which could indicate it's getting ready for another VEI 6, 7, or 8 eruption. That's bad news. The volcano, which is located in a highly populated Italian city of Naples, could kill everyone instantly. So we're going to be watching this closely. Follow us. We'll give you the facts. Worldwide Volcano News Update. Reventador Ibico eruption today reported. Fuego, Popo, Soputan, Shivaluch in the Kamchatka. We also have Ambrin, Fuego, all the big names, all active because of that spike in galactic cosmic rays today. I'll leave you links to everything below. Let's talk about VEI Explosive Index. When you go from 3 to 4, it's a massive jump up. And the reason why today's Soputan eruption at 8 kilometers, lasting for over 30 minutes, is an amazing event, is because the plume itself was above 5 kilometers, so it can't be VEI2. It has to immediately be VEI3. It was between 3 and 15 kilometers. In fact, it was at 8 kilometers or higher based on my estimates visually. This would be equivalent to the Lassen Peak eruption back in the Centennial Minimum, which we will be seeing in a short period of time. This is on the cusp of VEI4 based on the output because it was such a long-lived eruption. Meaning it lasted and ejected huge amounts of ejecta, approaching more than 0.1 cubic kilometers than 0.01 as in a VEI3. So this was a major VEI3 approaching VEI4 eruption. Here's the seismic activity here. I'll leave you links to Magma Indonesia so you can see the seismic event. And each of these lines across is 10 minutes, I think. So we have hours of continuous volcanic activity and eruption happening over at Soputan, according to the Magma seismograms. Now let's get to some more alternative science about the wildfires, explosions of natural gas, and other infrastructure problems in California, which is its own country. And they've lit the population on fire based on left-wing radical ideas to save owls and to do other dumb things that don't manage forests. In which case, they don't care about you, the money funders, the MFers. They don't care about you. What they care about is their bottom line. There's lobbyists upon lobbyists upon lobbyists. These are people that were typically in the government that retire and then they get paid gobs of money to keep the elites rich and the paupers pauping. Now, the California Commission is made with real people like you and me, and they found that PG&E falsified records for up to a decade, 5 to 8 years of nonsense, because they were underfunded, understaffed, and they don't give a MFer about you. The money funders don't care about you. So you blow up, entire cities like Paradise burn to the ground, and they never even check the pipes. They don't check natural gas lines. They write off that they've cut trees away from power lines, and they're lying. And at the expense of hundreds of lives. I think PG&E is done for. But because of the corrupt system that we have, there will be lobbyists, there will be a bailout, they will be fined, and they'll continue to make billions of dollars by killing you. So if you live in California, you're a sucker. Get out. The earthquake's coming. You're fluxed anyway. Now's the time to move. Here's some more nonsense science. This is coming from Science News. Organic food is worse for the climate. That's what this nonsense article claims. It's worse for the climate. Now, this is based on the fact that CO2 is bad for the climate. So organic food is worse for the climate because it protects the environment and requires more land. Because organic farmers actually keep a biome nearby, like trees or strips. That way they don't have to spray pesticides. What they don't tell you is that conventional farming dumps more toxic waste on the earth than ever before in human history. The red poisonous tides in the Gulf are because of conventional farming. They're because of conventional fertilizers being used on golf courses. They're because we have no management of our environment. We claim that pollution is CO2. And when the actual pollutants run off into the rivers and streams and estuaries that go to where our fish are harvested in the gulfs, bays, and oceans all around the world, which are filled with pollutants. And yet millions of dollars are being spent to research the fact that dumping these pollutants all over the earth is better than organic farming. It's better if the chemical companies continue to get billions of dollars to kill us because it requires less land to make food that has no nutrition. Organic food is worse for the climate, but better for humans. Organic food is worse for the climate. What? That's based on a false premise that CO2 is harming us. Science news is a farce. Organic food is better for the climate because it's better for humanity. It's better for the planet. It's better for the biome, which controls the climate. These people are frauds. Science news, you're a fraud. Please tell them that. And Chalmers University of Technology, what is that? Like a 2-year course in some suburb of Chicago? Are you kidding me? We're supposed to take this paper seriously? They're reaching for straws. The speaker for global warming now is like the ex-president of some third world country. And Science News accepts articles from associate's degree universities. It's pathetic. Science News, you're not worth the paper you're printed on. Neither is Johnson & Johnson. My mother died of cancer, lung cancer. Everyone said it's because she smoked. No, it's because she bathed herself in Johnson's baby powder every single day for decades. I wouldn't even walk in the bathroom. That's how much of a cloud of talcum powder there was. My mother was killed by the industry. My uncle, who went to Vietnam and was a chopper pilot, was killed by Monsanto as he flew through clouds of Agent Orange. These multinational corporations, the money funders that now control the media, the food supply, and the government, do not care about you. Johnson's baby powder, Johnson & Johnson's, if you own stock in that, you're an idiot. It's going to zero. We will burn them to the ground after the event, if they still exist. Water shortages ahead, according to fraudmongers. Sierra Nevada snowpack is on track to never exist, ever. We are going to raise in temperature, according to this article, 5 degrees in 10 years. We're all dead. The temperature has already risen 1.8 degrees since the last mini ice age, which is called normal warming. That's over the last century, and it's on track to triple that in just 30 years. Who gets paid to lie this extreme? They're claiming that in 30 years, the temperature is going to go up another 4 degrees. Are they aware that in the last 3 years, temperatures have dropped almost a degree? That the entire temperature rise since in the last century is only at 1 degree now? Are they aware of that? No. You are. And they also claim that it's going to be 9 degrees above now in just 80 years. This could be This is the most egregious, blatant lie that you've ever been fed down your neck after you've already seen the facts that global temps have fallen almost a degree in the last 3 years. The 10 hottest years since modern temperature records began have been falsified to have occurred since 1998. And the way they did this was they moved the thermometers into warmer areas. They also adjusted the beginning data warmer and the current data hotter, and they tweaked it. So it appears to be much warmer than it actually is. We all know that it was much warmer during the medieval warm. Greenland was populated and that it was entirely covered with farmland, which is not today. So how Greenland was warmer 1,000 years ago, nobody knows, including the UN, the IPCC, and every major climate scientist, because they only go back to 1880, because they're frauds. If they go back any further, everything they said is a lie. There are no major implications to this, except that this douchebag, who doesn't even have his pants on his waist, who is a Berkeley Lab postdoc fellow, his whole brain is filled with misinformation. And his shit-eating grin is because of funding. Alan Rhodes, you're a scumbag and a liar. Please, my email is oppenheimerranch@gmail.com. Please get in touch with me so I can put you in touch with reality. If you claim the Sierra snowpack is going to be completely non-existent in 20 years, you haven't even looked at what's happened over the last 3 years. Record snows in the Sierras. Do you remember when one storm ended the 50-year drought in one day? Yeah, these guys don't that are being funded to lie to you. Here's the snowpack in the Sierra right now. There is no part of the Sierras that are missing snow. Lake Tahoe's filling, and the snowpack is normal or above normal. And record snows are predicted to continue all winter. Take a look at Nevada, the driest desert on the planet. Look at the snowpack. It's not even winter yet. Look at the snowpack in the Sierras. Do you know what purple means? A shit ton. It's not winter, and there's 39 inches in most places. 4 feet of snowpack throughout Yosemite, all the way south. Kings Canyon, Sequoia, normal snowpack. All the way down. It's not even winter, and the snowpack is epic. Everywhere. Someone is lying to you. And it's not us. We're showing you facts here. Let's go up to the deep snow up in Washington. Look at this snow. It's not winter. And we're already at over 100 inches here. Near Bend, Oregon. It's come up in some of the deep numbers in the North Cascades, if they load. Over 200 inches here in the Pinchot National Forest. Over 10 feet on Mount Rainier, currently. Before winter, 10 feet. The Olympics, they're in the 10 feet range. 10 to 15 in some areas in the Olympics before winter. 10 to 15 in the entire North Cascades. We're talking up to 200 inches or more. Nonsense. You're never going to see snow again. 552 carat yellow diamond found in Canada. Largest ever. Look at the size of that rock. Doesn't compare to this diamond. Heads up. Links below. Let's check out space weather before we wrap it up. Small flare in the low B range. You can see the cosmic ray, galactic cosmic rays coming into to our Earth, causing that Soputan eruption today. In fact, the Soputan eruption happened after this event. Massive galactic cosmic rays. Boom! Soputan erupts. I'm not making up the facts. Correlation is not causation. But if you do not see the forest through the trees, then you're the bee's knees. You're psychic. New giant dinosaur discovered in Russia with a big eye. Holy sh! A new kind of dinosaur has been described in Russia, dubbed Volga Titan. The herbivore belonged to a family of long-necked dinosaurs we used to call Brontosaurus rex. And this one weighed 17 tons and walked around Earth for a long time. 120 million years this baby lasted. And somehow they concluded that after finding 2 vertebrae. Ow! Are you paying these people? That's a fisheye, you loser. Yes, a killer asteroid could hit Earth. In fact, we're in a drought. Sorry to say it. But an object 80 to 160 feet is about to hit the planet. And that will be bad news because it's going to continue the cooling. It will only kill tens of thousands of people locally. So hopefully it won't hit in your neighborhood. But it will rattle the planet and we'll feel it. And it's coming. You know why? Because it never didn't come. Here are the average years between impacts and the sizes. And if the baby that hits us next is huge, well, you'll know. Hope you got something out of the video. There's a lot to know. The Oppenheimer Ranch store is a great place to start. We have a library on preparedness and grand solar minimum topics. We have almost all of the preparedness items you would need to survive and thrive in a grid down scenario. We also have links to our Patriot Supply, where you can get 25 years shelf life storage food that you and your family can use as a hedge. If you don't have much money but you want to invest, I suggest you buy silver. It's at the lowest price in decades, and I'm hoarding it by the pound. Burying it in the ground. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. We love each and every one of you. Learn to grow food. It's winter. Buy a grow light. They cost less than 20 bucks. Get some dirt, buy some seeds, and start failing. If you're failing when the grid's down, you're going to be crying. But if you fail now and succeed later, you're that much more prepared. We need each and every one of you to make it. We're not going to do this alone. The changes are going to be almost indistinguishable from normal life. Prices will slowly rise. People will buy cheaper and cheaper items and get sicker and sicker until the grid goes down. It's a recipe for destruction. Get your health up. Get off of pharmaceuticals. Find alternative ways to stay alive without the system. It takes time. Time is running out. Tick tock.